Okay, welcome everybody. Sorry for the technical difficulties at our start. We're just a pinch late, but I'm really excited that you're here. For those of you that may not yet know me, my name is Shannon Parks. I'm your on-site coach through UMR, and I'm a registered dietitian by trade. I put on this monthly cooking demonstration called Cook Along Kitchen to teach you guys a bit about how to prepare healthy, enjoyable foods for yourselves, your family, and your loved ones. Today, we are going to be talking about healthy holiday foods. I know for me, around October, November time, my taste buds seem to change and I want all the fall flavors. I start thinking about my family's favorite dishes that they prepare at the holidays, the things that I like to prepare at the holidays, and I get really excited about all the foods that I'm going to get to enjoy. However, I don't know about y'all or your families, but my family cooks with a lot of very unhealthy ingredients. So I end up feeling just overloaded, over bloated, and not my best after a holiday meal. So today we're going to be creating two different healthy holiday dishes that you can incorporate into your holiday meals, whether it be Thanksgiving or any of the December or January holidays, and maybe even not in the holiday season. So let's talk about what we're going to make. Today, first and foremost, we're going to be making individual crustless, dairy-free pumpkin pies. I'm a big fan of pumpkin pie. My family's a big fan of pumpkin pie. Oftentimes it's overloaded with sugar and it's got a really thick crust on it, which, while delicious, does cause some inflammation for a lot of people eating wheat. And if you're gluten sensitive, it can be nice to have a crustless option. The cool thing about this recipe is one individual container is only 125 calories, 25 grams of carbohydrates, 3 grams of fiber, only 4 grams of sugar, which is unheard of for a pumpkin pie, 7 grams of fat, and 5 grams of protein, which is really cool that we're getting a lot of protein in a dessert. So we're gonna make that first because if I were preparing this at home, that needs some bake time. Now today you'll get to witness a little TV magic. I have prepared and baked some for you to see the end result, but I would prepare that first because it's got to bake for about 25 to 30 minutes. And when I'm baking that, I would be preparing our second dish, which is a fall salad, or I think I labeled it an autumn salad, which is features mixed greens, gorgonzola, and pears, and then a simple vinaigrette that we're gonna make together. So let's look at our ingredients. You guys know I love to look at all the ingredients before we get started. So talking about these pears don't belong over here. These pears belong with our salad. Talking about our ingredients for a pumpkin pie. I have canned pie mix or canned pumpkin pie, pure, still wrong. 100% pure pumpkin. Do not get the pumpkin pie mix. I made sure to notate that on the recipe that's got sugar and spices added into it. We want pure pumpkin. So 100% pure pumpkin. You need 1 can. Now this recipe, it makes 4 of these, I think these are 4-ounce ramekins. Oh no, these are 10-ounce ramekins. So it makes 4 of these 10-ounce ramekins. If you have smaller ramekins in your house, obviously it would make more, or maybe you need to double the recipe to make this for the crowd that you're feeding. But for 4 10-ounce ramekins, we get 1 can of 100% pure pumpkin. We're going to be using a half can of full fat coconut milk. Now this is in a takeaway container because, like I said, I did TV magic. I already prepared some of these, and so I've got the other half cup of full fat coconut milk here. We're going to be adding in a 1/3 cup of pure maple syrup. Now, if you wanted to do like a keto maple syrup, you could certainly do that. I like the real thing, so we're going to use that. We're going to be using 3 large eggs. So I have grade A eggs here, 3 of them. We'll be using pumpkin pie spice, which is a little bit different than just your like traditional cinnamon and nutmeg. It contains clove, it contains ground ginger, allspice, nutmeg, and cinnamon. So this is a really nice spice blend. So we've got that. We'll put a little bit of vanilla extract and a little bit of lemon zest in there, a pinch of salt, and then we'll whip that all together. We'll pour it into our clean and prepared ramekin dishes. I would place it on a baking tray and slide it into a 350-degree oven for about 25 to 30 minutes. Now, I would say mine was about 32 minutes in my oven. You want the center, because it is a custard, you want the center to be a little jiggly, but you don't want it to be liquid. So I checked around 25 minutes, it seemed still pretty liquid, closer to 32 minutes, it seemed to be firmed up a bit, it was still a little jiggly center. So we'll go through all of that today. Let's start. So I've got a nice big mixing bowl here. I'm gonna go ahead and get my eggs in first. I like to kind of scramble up my eggs. If I have eggs in a dish, it just seems easier to mix and incorporate everything when the yolks and the whites are already incorporated together. So we'll get our 3 eggs in here. Now, I did not test this recipe with any sort of egg substitute. So just keep that in mind. If you do want this to be vegan, you might have to play around a little bit with the egg substitute and see what would work well in this recipe. So I'm just gonna go ahead and mix up the eggs so that the yolks and the whites are nicely combined and make our overall mixing a little bit easier. And then from here, oh, and before I move on, one of the great things about eggs, obviously they contain protein, but they also contain choline. And choline is used to build our cellular membranes, and it also helps with signaling within our brain. So eggs are really healthy for us, and they actually don't have too much of an adverse effect on our cholesterol levels within our body, because about 70% of our cholesterol is made from our liver. So 3 eggs in the bowl. From there, we're gonna add in this full can, a 15-ounce can of pure pumpkin. Do I have any other fans of pumpkin pie on the call today? Surely there's gotta be another pumpkin pie lover out there somewhere. Can't be alone. Oh, I'm seeing hearts come up, so somebody out there loves pumpkin pie like I do. I love it, and it's so funny, my kids love it too, which I would not have expected out of little boys. They love pumpkin pie. And they had made those other little pies that I'll show you when we're done the other day, and my boys were just clamoring to eat them. I had to keep them out of the fridge because I said, no, those are for work, you can't have them. So they're looking forward to these ones coming home today. All right, so we've got the pumpkin in there, we've got the eggs in there. I'm gonna add a 1/3 cup of maple syrup. And I got just a 100% pure organic maple syrup. I know a lot of people out there like Aunt Jemima. That is corn syrup, not maple syrup. So go for the real thing. It's a little more expensive, but it's definitely worth it, I promise you. We've got the maple syrup in there. We're also gonna add in the 1/2 cup of coconut milk. Now this is full fat coconut milk. I know a lot of people will buy like the light coconut milk. I'm gonna encourage you go full fat here. It's gonna help with the texture of the dish. And make sure if you, before you open your can of coconut milk, you give it a really good shake because it can settle and kind of separate. We are going to add about a teaspoon or 1/2 tablespoon of this pumpkin pie spice. Oh, it smells so good. A 1/2 tablespoon of pumpkin pie spice. So yummy. Favorite time of the year with all the different herbs and spices that we find in the flavors this time of year. We're gonna do the zest of a 1/2 of a lemon. So I've got, here we go. I've obviously washed all of our produce already today. You don't have to worry about that. And of course, I've washed my hands before getting started. I saw this video on social media with somebody that took parchment paper and wrapped it around their zester. I've got another little, and so they wrapped it around their zester, and it supposedly zested right onto the paper. Well, let me tell you what, I tried to recreate that at home and it didn't go so well. it zested right through the paper. So if anybody else sees that video, don't try it. Good old fashioned zester goes a long way. All right, friends, let's get all that good stuff out of there. Okay, this is already smelling so good with the freshness of the lemon, delicious. Okay, so we've got our lemon zest in there, and then the vanilla extract. So about 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. Good, and let's give this a nice stir. You just want to stir it enough so that it's all incorporated. And I'll bring it around and show you guys what it's looking like here. And then we'll dish it up into our little ramekins. I love this recipe. I love that it's individually portioned, which helps me a lot on Thanksgiving. So I'm sure it'll help some of you as well. I love that it's got protein in it. It's only got a little bit of sugar when we're talking about comparative to other desserts. It's got fiber in it. The other ingredients, your pumpkin is rich in vitamin A, vitamin C, vitamin E, and B vitamins, as well as fiber. That's where we're getting the fiber from. Carotenoids, which gives the orange color, that's your antioxidant. And then potassium and magnesium. All of those are good for eye health, immune support. It's going to aid your digestion and reduce your risk of chronic disease, improve your heart health, and it even helps to lower blood pressure, which is pretty great for pumpkin, especially when we're thinking about it coming into a pie. So go ahead and take a look at this, or rather, let me tilt the camera. So you can see it looks just generally like a nice pumpkin pie mix. We're gonna pour this into our ramekins. Talking about the other ingredients, the coconut milk. So full fat coconut milk is full of medium chain triglycerides, which are a healthy form of fat for our body. Also has iron, which is great for our blood, magnesium, potassium, copper, and manganese. Really good stuff there. And then the maple syrup, it's not just a sweetener to help it taste good, it also has medicinal properties. Maple syrup is high in zinc, which is important for our digestive enzymes. It's high in antioxidants, in manganese, and in riboflavin, which is a B vitamin. So it's going to be anti-inflammatory. It's going to help with heart health, brain health, and it's even cancer preventative due to some of the compounds in maple syrup. And then we talked about the eggs with the choline helping to build up the cell membranes. So these look really good. Oh my gosh, I wish I could eat it right now. Unfortunately, it's gotta bake, but it smells so yummy. Beautiful. Okay, so use a little bit of a tap, even them out, and then I would put them on a baking tray in a 350-degree oven for, like I said, 25 to 35 minutes, depending on your oven. Now, a little TV magic. Ooh, everybody say it with me. We have baked ramekins. So this is what they look like at the end. Super yummy, super tasty. One of them cracked like a real pie, which I thought was great. And now we're going to top it with a dairy-free, this is the So Delicious dairy-free coconut whipped topping. Now I went dairy-free because this entire recipe is dairy-free. You don't have to be dairy-free by any means, and if you'd rather use your own whipped topping that you make out of dairy, hey, by all means, go for it. So we're just gonna put a little dollop right on top here. How perfect, so cute, so holiday. I don't know about you guys, but I am certainly ready for Thanksgiving with a recipe like this. Beautiful. And then, of course, because presentation is everything, we eat with our eyes as much as anything else. We'll do a little sprinkle of our pumpkin pie spice right on top, make it look pretty. What do we think? Would we make this at home? Are we gonna try it this year?
Heck yeah.
Heck yeah, I love that. I think that was true, and you're a baker, so I'm impressed.
I will too.
Yay! Is
Yeah,
that Kim?
it is. Now, I'm not a pumpkin pie fan, but my family is. So I can see this being a big hit.
I love that they're individually portioned. I mean, come on, guys, look how cute that is with the little sprinkling of pumpkin pie, spice on top, a little dollop of whipped cream. I think we're cut the show short. I'm just gonna go eat this, okay? No, we got still another dish to make, so let's go ahead and do that. That's what that looks like. Now, after you make them, they need to chill on a countertop completely before you put them in the refrigerator. So just keep that in mind, okay? Fill them completely. And then they need to go in the fridge for about an hour to really firm up and set up. So just keep that in mind when you're making these. It's not like you bake them, pull them out, and then they're ready to go. They take a little bit of set time because it's a custard. So just keep that in mind. Okay, our next recipe, we are making a little fall salad, which I love. So this fall salad, let's look at all of our ingredients. Our base is gonna be baby mixed spring greens. Now I just got this like bag salad kit from Walmart or Publix. It's got some mixed greens in here, spinach, carrot, Mizuna leaf, green leaf lettuce, red leaf lettuce, Lola Rosa, green oak, radicchio. So it's got a nice little blend. And then because I like regular lettuce too, so I'm gonna chop some of this regular lettuce and put that in with it. So we'll have both of these. That's gonna be our base. We will have 2 sliced and diced pears as a part of our salad. We'll have gorgonzola cheese as well. And now I do have somebody dairy free in my office. So I'm gonna leave this off and people can serve themselves on the side. Otherwise, I would just toss it right in with the salad. And then we have pepitas, which are pumpkin seeds. They're gonna give a little bit of crunch and some halved pecans. Again, a little bit of crunch, a little bit of fall flavor. You could totally toast your pecans in advance and give it a even more rich flavor. I didn't do that, but you could. So let's talk about our dressing. Our dressing is gonna be super simple. Y'all know I'm a big fan of making our own dressings. We made our own, I think it was like orange ginger dressing last month. So we're gonna be making our own dressing again. Big fan of using like a mason jar, leftover container, or like glass jar that you have in your house for making dressings. So our base for that is avocado oil. It's gonna be joined by red wine vinegar, a little bit of Dijon mustard, and a little bit of honey. And then you could put a little salt and pepper in it as well. I'm going to avoid that because again, a lot of us eat a lot of sodium as it is, so we don't wanna overdo it. So let's get our dressing together. We've got 3 tablespoons of olive oil. Actually, this is avocado oil. You could do olive oil or avocado oil. They both have a neutral flavor. I find that avocado oil has an even more neutral flavor than olive oil. Salad dressings are also a really nice time to use up your like at the holidays, people will buy me like the really pretty olive oil jars with the garlic in it or the rosemary in it. They don't have a practical use in cooking, but they make really good salad dressing. So that's a great time to use that. We've got 2 tablespoons of red wine vinegar going in. And this is the basic vinaigrette recipe, you guys. You could mix this up. You could do a different kind of vinegar. You could do those flavored oils. You could switch it up and go like champagne vinegar, sherry vinegar, something like that. White wine, balsamic, on and on. So easy. We're gonna add a half teaspoon of Dijon mustard. So half teaspoon, here we go. Don't worry, I shook it first because I didn't want all the, y'all know about the mustard juice that collects. We don't want none of that. And some honey. I've got some local raw honey here. We're gonna do 1 teaspoon. Gotta get it all the way down to the bottom here. Okay, we'll do 1 teaspoon. Now this is a half teaspoon measurement that I just used for the mustard, so we'll just use that again. Is anybody here a fan of making your own dressings? I know I've done so many cook-along kitchens, encouraging people to make their own dressings. So many of the store-bought dressings just have the inflammatory oil base, either canola oil or Soybean oil is a really common one too, just so terribly inflammatory. All right, from here, we're just gonna take it and shake it. So shake it, emulsify it really, really good.
Shannon.
Yes, ma'am.
And yesterday in our office, we had a baby shower for one of the girls, and I brought a pasta salad. And my dressing for my pasta salad was your lemon vinaigrette dressing. It was
Yay!
delicious. Everybody just loved it.
Oh, that makes me so happy. That's awesome. Thank you for sharing that, Kim. And congratulations to another baby in the county. Let me have this little taste. Nice. Well balanced, not too tart. Little tart, not too bad. Here's our dressing. Set that off to the side. 2-hour container here. I'm gonna dump this bag of salad mix. I'm going to chop some of this lettuce. Honestly, I don't even know. Oh, we'll chop it a little bit. It's kind of in small leaf size already, but we'll chop it a little bit. And put that in there. Now, your greens, all of your greens are really high in vitamin A, vitamin C, vitamin K, and folate, which is a B vitamin. It's going to be important for vision, immune function, blood clotting and bone health, cellular health, and development, especially in individuals who are pregnant. They need the extra folic acid that's found in mixed greens. To this, we're going to peel and dice up 2 pears. Pears, and I've washed the outside of these. Pears are rich in copper and folate and vitamin A and niacin, which is a B vitamin. Cool thing about pears is that they really help with wound healing and skin health. And they're really one of the foods that or fruits that really don't spike your blood sugar very high. A lot of fruits will spike our blood sugar, but pears don't. And pears are such a nice fall flavor. Now, if you wanted to get fancy and make this a warm salad, you could totally like saute your pears in some warm spices and add that to your salad, and that would probably be really delightful, especially if you toasted the pecans to go along with it. These recipes, you guys, I tell you, go home and make them, but you can really make them your own. That's the fun thing with cooking. It's not like baking where it's a science. You have to have correct ratios of everything. Cooking is really nice because you can kind of get creative. As long as you have a little confidence, you can get creative and that'll go a long way. Okay, so we've peeled one pear. Let me get the other guy done. And then we will also, like I said, we've got the gorgonzola cheese. Now, gorgonzola cheese does have both calcium and protein. Calcium helps us have healthy bones and teeth. It also helps with heart function. And then the protein is the building block for all the muscle tissue in our body, so that's important. The nuts and seeds that we're going to add to it. So we've got pumpkin seeds or pepitas. Pepitas are really high in omega-6 and omega-3 fatty acids. Those are imperative for eye health, joint health, and brain health. They've also got protein and magnesium in them, zinc and iron. They're really a powerhouse. They help with things like heart health, having the building blocks for the amino acids to build more protein tissues. They help with immune support, energy production, and they provide some antioxidants too. I don't know if you guys are starting to notice or not, but I'm trying to teach you about the power of whole foods being useful in your body as medicine. I think a lot of times we get to this point where we feel like, oh, it's just food is food, it's for taste or whatever. And sure, it is for taste, but it can also be so healing and rejuvenating to our body that we would be remiss if we didn't consider that as a part of the foods that we're eating. So I'm gonna go ahead and dice these into like a bite size. Not too small because the other pieces in the salad are a little bit bigger. The thing with the salad, that when you're making the salad, you want to try to be mindful of keeping uniform bite size. So you don't want some big chunks of, say, carrot and a bunch of small chunks of something else. We want it to be as uniform and bite-sized as we can. And so think about that when you're thinking about your salads that you create, or the dishes that you create that have multiple ingredients to them. Does anybody y'all like fruit in your salads? Has anybody made something similar to this before?
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am, always.
Yeah, it's so nice. We're so lucky to have access to fresh fruit here in Florida, pretty much year round. It'd be really easy. And remember, when it comes to leafy greens, they change the rules on serving size. All your other fruits and vegetables serving size is 1 cup. 1 cup cooked or raw. And then serving size for your leafy greens is 3 cups of leafy greens. So keep that in mind, because that's a lot of us don't eat that much leafy greens at a time. Although if you think about it, I mean, this is 1 cup right here. So you could easily have a side salad that's gonna be a 3-cup salad. It'll be pretty filling, but it could be manageable. And that's without counting all the add-ins like the pears or the tomatoes or cucumber or whatever else might go into your salad. That's just gonna add to the veggie count, which is great. Alright, so we've got the pears chopped up. Like I said, I'm gonna leave the gorgonzola off because I don't want my dairy-free colleague to not be able to enjoy this salad if they'd like to. We're going to add some pepitas here. So about a 1/2 ounce. I'm just gonna do a little shake in there. And then we're going to do the pecan hubs. And these are calling for 1 ounce. I'll do a little bit more of those than I did the sunflowers, or I mean the pepitas. Awesome. I'm gonna drizzle, maybe we'll start with about half of the salad dressing. You don't want the salad to appear wet, just lightly dressed. We'll use half the dressing, we'll toss it, and we'll see how we're looking. Let me get my tongs.
Hey Shannon, someone asked if your past recipes are available online if they missed the class. I know you send them through email, but I don't know.
I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think so. I'll have to look, cause I think they were all stored on my Cigna computer, which I lost access to when we made the transition, so I don't think so. But I can certainly look for you. I think that was Pola. I can certainly look for you, Pola.
Yeah, it was somebody else posted that and I thought, well, that would be helpful. Michelle Lloyd did, but
Yeah,
I want that too.
that is a good idea. And then perhaps we can find a place to host them. I'm gonna come around and show y'all what this salad looks like. And this is without the gorgonzola in it. So we can see lots of nice color, got some pear pieces in there. Does this look appetizing? Look like something you guys would enjoy at your holiday table?
Yes.
So pretty,
Absolutely.
right? Especially if you did like here, let's serve it up with a little bit of this gorgonzola. Oh my gosh. You guys, I cannot. How lucky am I to get to play with food at work and make these beautiful dishes? Feel so thankful for the fun work I get to do.
I feel thankful that your room is right next to my office. Very thankful for that.
I'm thankful for that too, true. All right, friends, let's take a look at this salad all plated up. I gotta scoot some like gorgonzola out of the way. I'm gonna make it pretty for you. This is what it looks like all plated. How beautiful.
Mm.
Such a pretty plate. All right, let's give it a whirl, shall we? Let's take a little bite test so you guys know I'm not joking you when I tell you it tastes really good. And then they go, well, how do you know? How do we know she tasted it? Oh yeah, holiday meal approved, guaranteed. You guys, make this salad, whether it's for your Thanksgiving or any other time. This is so good. So easy. Honestly, I would love this with a piece of grilled fish or grilled chicken, or maybe even some seared tofu or white beans would be superb. It's so light. The cheese gives it a nice creamy element. The crunchiness of the nuts and the carrots and the ripe lettuce leaves is astounding. And the dressing is just light enough. We used about half the dressing, so keep that in mind. Dressing will store it in the refrigerator about a week. Always dress your salad right before you're about to serve it. Nobody likes soggy salad. This is another episode of Cook Along Kitchen, healthy holiday meals. I'm so glad that you came. I want to wish you and yours a happy and healthy holiday season. Please come back next month. We're going to be hanging out and doing some mocktails. Can't wait to see you there. Take care. Be well, my friends. See you again soon.